Okay, so we have other speakers here, and very glad to invited a few of our community leaders here to join this panel. So it will be like actually 3 questions. So first of all, maybe let's introduce ourselves and how did you join CKB community, and how is your community so far? Maybe we start from Jaden.
Nice to meet you all. Thank you for this opportunity to be on the stage. My name is Seung in Korean, and English name is Jaden from CoinEasy. And I initially met them in Web3 festival in Hong Kong, and I really liked this CKB committee, and I went back to Hong Kong during Bitcoin Hong Kong. So that's how I joined the CKB team. And yet I love to help CKB community to Korea market expansion. Yeah.
Okay, hello guys, I'm Alvin from Crypto Research, and Crypto Research could be research-driven crypto media, and we have our own research team, cover different narratives and projects in the market, and built this brand about 3 years ago. Yes, and my story with CKB can date back to 4 to 5 years ago, and actually I wasn't not familiar with the crypto industry in Taiwan at that time, and I joined one of the meetup with the topic related to nervous at the time. So it's quite interesting that later I discovered that both my friends in Korea and Taiwan have been long supporters in CKB ecosystem till now. So I think it's quite lucky to be here, and also thanks for having me today. And I think that another story is about we can see that the market focus on BTC quite a lot, especially this year. We can see that many new assets like inscriptions and runes and even BTC5 projects coming out this year. And also, we can deny that the price movement of the CKB this year have a quiet impression especially in Asia. So I think as people continue to explore more opportunities in the BTC5 ecosystem, we can know that the value CKB wanna build is the long term, not just the short term. Like we can see like nearly 80% of the project in the market. So I think as the CKB continues to build its own ecosystem, and I'm so looking forward to the new technologies coming out in this ecosystem, and the core value lies in the community. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm James. I'm Nervape James. I'm the community manager for Nervape. I first got into CKB through Nervape. I started doing translations from Mandarin to English for their Nervape saga. You can check out at nervape.com/story. And I was pulled into Nervape. I was drawn to Nervape because of their storytelling. And I felt like, oh wow, this is really cool. It's like, I've heard of blockchain, I've heard about like Bitcoin, you know, and I heard about scams in crypto. But I was fascinated, like, okay, this is an interesting direction in the Web3 space I haven't seen before. So I was drawn to Nervape through the narrative storytelling, and also and after, you know, that was kind of like the gateway drug into, like, eventually I became a community manager, and I got to learn more about CKB and crypto and the Web3 space. I still feel like I'm really new, and I still feel like I'm always learning something new every day. So like conferences like these are great for newbies like me. And yeah, so that's how I got into CKB, and I do think that you know, it's interesting to see all the different projects and all the different directions that we're seeing here today in the different talks that we're hearing. Yeah.
Yeah. So James, which year did you join like Nervape and the CKB ecosystem?
I entered 2022, so just over 2 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite good because I realized that actually today's like audience maybe kind of like come along with CKB community for years. Actually, the panelists here, we are new commerce for CKB ecosystem. Many of us actually joined the ecosystem this year, but we heard of CKB maybe years ago, and this year we are very lucky to join. So it's a very good case of like the growth of CKB ecosystem. So the next question actually will be, when we are like onboarding those ecosystem members, what kind of characteristics so far you have seen from the CKB community, and how did you usually like onboard those new members to the CKB ecosystem, and how do you retain them to have like more engagement? Yeah, maybe this question I would like to hear from Jaden first as well, because you have like running the CKB Korean community for a while, right? Yeah, so what's your like experience?
So when we start the CKB Korea, as our company, Coineasy is Web3 education social platform, so we understand that education is really important. So we made a foundation of the CKB Korea as an educational environment for everyone. So it's really, really, the community itself is really organic and healthy. So that's how we grew our community, even though it looked a little bit slower than others, but in the long term, it's really important to start as an educational environment. So everyone understands what's going on, what is CKB, and can follow up the CKB ecosystem and actually use the products, decentralized application on CKB ecosystem. So it's really interesting to see our community is much more healthier. Even though price drop, they understand this is a long-term vision, and they're still there for the CKB ecosystem and believe in the ecosystem. So it's really interesting to see we can actually shape the community much healthier than other communities. So I think it's really, really important to be guardians as a community leaders in Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like because Alvin, I know that recently you just started to lead the growth of CKB community in Taiwan, and you know, 万事开头难. So to do a very good go-to-market strategy, which kind of people will you maybe first remind of to go to first?
Yeah, actually, we didn't start the local community in Taiwan start from zero, because there already has a big like Chinese community in Nervous ecosystem. But what I found when we study a new the ecosystem we're not familiar on, like we call social networks. The way I want to do is like I always to explore the user profiles of different ecosystem. And what I found is that we published the article related to Nervous last month, which gained significant engagement. And I found that when I following back many like followers or the people commented their remarks on the post, I found that the composition of the Nervous communities are many like developers and makers, and it's quite different from any other ecosystem we see in the crypto industry, and especially in Asia, like what speculation dominates all the time. So I think it's quite a difference speaking to Nervous ecosystem and other crypto ecosystem, and especially in Taiwan, crypto community is quite various in Taiwan. There are like meme coin players, developers, and also many projects. So I think as these players in BTC ecosystem continue exploring opportunities, they will find the true value lies in a Nervous ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, James, you will be also like a little bit different from Alvin and Jaden, because you are kind of grow the global community of Nervape. Yeah, how do you feel your journey so far?
Yeah, it's been really interesting seeing the different communities in different countries. I hear what you're saying, Alvin, about like there's certain like, you know, maybe in, you know, Chinese speaking communities, Mandarin speaking communities, there's like a little bit more speculation, or like we gotta go to the moon, you know, we gotta make that money.
Price matters.
You You know what I'm saying? Like, and then whereas as you heard from Echo's speech, we're trying to build an IP. Like, we're doing the long game. We're building like storytelling. We're building art. And I do think, yeah, maybe in like, I remember Echo was telling us like, yeah, at Bitcoin Nashville, there's a little bit more interest on like what can you build. And I know in Japan, I live in Japan right now. A little bit more focus on building. So it's interesting to see how each culture has their own kind of different focus. But then again, each person is different, right? So each person has their own. But there seems to be certain trends. And then I think as a community manager for Nervape, what I'm seeing is we have our English channel and then we have our Mandarin speaking channel. And you could already see very distinctly like the different kind of culture. And this is not just ethnic culture. It's more like a kind of like a focus of it, what they want from Web3, what they want from crypto, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that answers your question. So what's the question? Yeah. The different feel from each community, or?
Yeah, because different project actually will have their own different followers, right? So what kind of characteristics you see from the community?
Right. So yeah, as I mentioned, I think you can see it distinctly in the different language channels that we have in our Discord. I do think, as Echo had mentioned in her speech, and this is something that I believe in strongly as well, is like, be yourself, trust yourself, create yourself. So how can you build a community from core values, like as like a base level asset? So Bitcoin, our Nervape is the base level asset. So for our community, our base level asset is our, be yourself, trust yourself, create yourself. And I think that, and we try to infuse that with our conversations. If there's like conversations in our community about like, kind of like scammy stuff, we try to like avoid that, and we try to, but also the thing is that we're not blind to the fact that this is what the space is about. It's like making money, right? So we try to, again, we're not going to be like directors of how the conversation should go, but we as a team will try to reflect what values we have, and as a team, I can speak for our team that we're not into like these pumping, like being scammy or doing like these kind of like pump and dumps kind of things. We're not into that. We're really all about the IP and creating the IP, and hopefully what we've seen is that also attracts certain community members to that kind of ideal as well.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so next question will be like, what do you think the community role that is playing in the CKB ecosystem? And because when we are like trying to onboard the first batch of community, or even kind of the majority of the community, you may have kind of imagined the profile of your community. And maybe you also having some expectation from those kind of interaction and engagement. And yeah, maybe this question I would like to start from James, because you're with a very comprehensive view that you're leading the community in Nervape, right? So what do you expect from community, and how would you like to do something to unlock their potential contribution to the whole ecosystem?
Yeah, so the create yourself part, that's a big part of Nervape, and so co-creation is a big part of it. So what we want to do is, and what we have done, especially with like the Nervape digital object series that we had released earlier this year, is that we first, we did like little surveys of, hey, what's some cool designs you want? Okay, you like Dragon Ball Z, or you like, Evangelion, or you like, what kind of IPs are you guys interested in? So we first do these surveys into our community and see what do they want, and also, and we incorporate that into like the designs, and we change a little for IP purposes, So we have like these inspired by our community, and asking them and to give back to our design team and give us kind of inspiration. So we get inspiration from our community, and that's a big way that I feel like makes it sustainable too. Is because if it's just us continually giving and just say what we want, then it doesn't seem like a dialogue with our community. So that's something that we're really focused on, is like co-creation and creating with our community. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So for Jaden and Alvin, actually when we are like building a larger regional market, we invited you as our partners to onboard the local community. Maybe we hope they can be like our token holders, can be our like evangelists. However, I think maybe you will have different perspective that maybe they can do further. So what's your opinion from Alvin?
I think, like what was said previously, the crypto community based in Taiwan or other like Chinese-speaking regions, Hong Kong and even China and Malaysia, and I think the importance lies in Taiwan community. Like I said, there are various community. We can tell there are many players in BTC ecosystem or developers. They even can run their node by themselves, and also. The people that always try to find something new in the market because there may be some profit or some opportunities for them. And for Taiwan, I think for now, I'm looking forward to the new technology because I think I know that the next step into payment and like BTC ecosystem. Maybe there are many new assets coming out in this new ecosystem. I think that people wanna to look how they can get from this new ecosystem because I think there are quite many different BTC-Fi ecosystem right now, especially in Asia. I think from Taiwan, I think we need to make them to know more details about what CKB is and any other core value lies in this ecosystem compared to other because many players in Taiwan right now purely focus on like meme coin trading or perpetuals trading right now. So I think that's also the focus we do right now to publish more contents related to what ecosystem do right now and also in other countries what the ecosystem is building by the local developers and builders. And we think maybe as the opportunities grow larger, maybe there are more like local workshops and meetups which we can make more developers, local developers and players meet the builders from this ecosystem so that no matter the presence or the influence as for the nervous ecosystem can try to reach out more potential users in Taiwan or any other like Chinese speaking regions, Hong Kong and Malaysia. Yeah.
I think most of things got covered, but what I can say, we try our best to broadcast all the news and things going on CKB ecosystem to the community. Since CKB is on a bit, there are a lot of CKB token holders in Korea, and what they want to see is they are actually working hard, like as a protocol. So our job is that make sure that everyone knows that CKB is building and really working hard. So that's what the token holders want to see, to be honest. As long as they are working and really active, that really ensures those token holders, and they can actually introduce CKB to other community and friends or family and things like that. And it's really, really important from our side. So that's why we make sure that we deliver all the important things and narrative like fiber network and etc. to our community, and also we make sure that we communicate to our community that they give us feedback. Oh, I think fiber networks really long term. Is there any like short term kind of seasoning? Then like we give those opinions from Korea communities to CKB team, so we can make a better strategy for the short term and the long term and mid term and long terms. So I think it's really important to communicate with the CKB team and also Korea community and also from our side. So it's our job to be good gateway for CKB ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you, Jaden. I think maybe that's the reason why we all joined CKB, because of the vibe. We like the vibe here, and we are long-term builders. So CKB may be a very good ecosystem, even though we may have our like different agencies or like different of social titles, but we still feel very comfortable in building here. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's the panel for the first one, right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.